Hello, this is Nick Roach. I'd like to say a few words about the nature or the meaning of the word enlightenment. It causes so much confusion, so much debate, so much argument about what it is and who isn't and who is and how to tell. So much so, we've even got the phrase, if anyone says they're enlightened, it means they can't be. Because people wouldn't claim to be enlightened if they really were. Then people argue about that. So I'd like to say a few words. I've explained or described in previous videos and in my books that to me this place is built of emotion, the attachment to be separate, the attachment for this entire place to exist. Now, if we imagine getting my left and rights correct for the video, if you imagine the start of the separation is here, and over here is the very, very end of the separation where the dream ends, existence ends, there is nothing left. Enlightenment, let's say, is about here. I'm going to say it's 80%, maybe 90%, maybe even more, maybe a bit less, but it's that far towards the end of the journey between the beginning and when existence doesn't need to be here anymore and the whole thing evaporates. That's enlightenment. What does that mean? How does that help you, anybody, know what enlightenment is? Well, it doesn't really. It just removes a lot of the debate as to who is and who isn't, because it doesn't matter. It then has no meaning. It's just a point on a spectrum between the beginning and the end. The reason there is so much confusion as to what it is because when a person gets to this point, their personal experiences and the experience of being in that state may well be different from another person who's reached that point. And you might have 20 people, all at 80% of their journey, all describing a different experience and all saying they know they've reached a point of certain realization that they know they're enlightened. This is it. There's a certainty. I'm here. I've arrived. It's like having a long journey and you keep thinking, how long have I got to go? This is awful. I can't do it anymore. I can't cope anymore. How long? And then you get to the brow of a hill and, I can see the end. I now know how far I've come and I can see how far I've got to go. At least I can see an idea. I can see maybe far off lights or something if it's in the evening. I've got an idea. I know where I'm going. I know I'm nearly there now, relatively speaking. But that person on that hill might describe the hill very differently from another person on that hill. The hill might be different. It's irrelevant. The point they've arrived at, the 80%, let's say, of the journey, that's enlightenment. Having become enlightened or self-realized, there's still another 20% to go. So one hasn't finished. And of course they haven't finished. Look, they're still here. The body, the world, is still here. Of course they haven't finished. There's still this bit left. Now, again, the nature of this place and people, not only will the enlightenment be different, but the last phase, even all of it, can come in different order. The experiences, the insights, the realizations. Some may have lots of them, like myself. Others have nothing until arriving at the brow of the hill. Oh, this is it. I'm here. Wow. I wasn't even looking for it. This is amazing. So if you have two people, both in that state, both arrived in that position, relative to their journey, they would describe the state or experience very differently. One might say one has realised this and had that experience, had this insight, and this happened and that happened and that happened, then a massive thing here and that happened and that happened and that happened. It's 20 years of experiences leading up to that point. Another goes, didn't happen to me, I wasn't even interested. All of a sudden one day, had a bit of experience and this is it. I knew something had happened. And I looked online, I searched, investigated, and I found that what I'd had, what I had got, what I was experiencing was this. Is one any more valid than the other? I'd suggest not. So how does that help other people? Well, I hope it removes some of the confusion, because it doesn't help you. All it does is, if someone says they're enlightened, they are saying, as far as I'm concerned, and according to my suggestion here, they have reached a certain point in their journey and they've almost mentally or intuitively hammered a stake in the ground. This is where I am. This point I'm going to call enlightenment. The only way any of this helps you is if it helps you on your journey. It might be entertaining, and that's fine too. Like watching a program on television. Doesn't have to mean anything. But if you're looking for answers, someone telling you they're enlightened isn't going to give you the answer, isn't going to help you. And then for them to tell you how you have to do it by doing nothing, if that's how it came to them, that doesn't help you either. If they keep repeating to you, there's nobody here, there's nothing you can do, you're already there, that is of no help to you. So by all means, if looking to understand the spiritual path, read and listen to the most advanced people in your intuition that you can. But please be aware that everyone's journey is very different, very personal. And your journey will not be my journey. And my journey will not be somebody else's journey. We're each on our own journey. And my enlightenment, my experience of it, may well be nothing like your own. There'll be similarities, but they might be very different. I suggest ultimately after the 80%. When someone gets to 95% of the journey, I'm now going to suggest they become very similar. The experience of being it becomes very similar. The 80%, not so much. But talking about what I'd referred to in my book as liberation or no self, then we're getting to a point where things are starting to join up. But even then, the path one has taken to get there, the experiences leading up to that, will determine how that person expresses it, how they interpret it with their thinking mind, how they share it, and how they describe how to get there. So again, there will be differences. Thank you.